Welcome back to San Diego People. Wow. Look at that thing. They get bigger and bigger, Augie Gio. Come on over here. This is interesting because there's some new things going on with firefighting in Southern California. First of all, I noticed right here the logos on the fire engine. No longer do they say this or that or the other one. What they do now is they say all these different districts. Tell me about this particular engine. Who owns it and where does it respond from?
Well, this is a County of San Diego engine that was bought as part of the recently formed San Diego County Fire Authority. So this is part of the $15.5 million that the County Board of Supervisors made available this last year to enhance fire protection in San Diego County. These people come from the Deer Springs area. So this type of apparatus, which is all through the unincorporated area of the county, brought together 50 fire stations under one umbrella organization, CAL FIRE, to help establish through the Department of Planning and Land Use the San Diego County Fire Authority.
Wow, okay, I'm going to tell them. You can go ahead and you can turn that off now. Thank you very much. I didn't want you yelling and losing your voice like that, Augie. So the fact is, we know this is a hard time. The state is in terrible budget situations, but we know that the fire doesn't know that. The fire just starts and it burns through neighborhoods. How do you handle all the budget cuts? You have a lot of this equipment here, but how do you handle the budget cuts?
Well, I think the County of San Diego has taken a good first step. They formed the San Diego County Fire Authority. They made $15.5 million available, so we have new equipment. We've consolidated some of the smaller districts out there in the unincorporated area into one large agency, so it makes it easier to manage resources in San Diego County with the 58 remaining fire departments in the County of San Diego. The other thing it does is it allows us to cohese more through our zones in San Diego County to say, hey, if we have less resources available from the state of California, how are we going to manage our local resources to ensure that we're covered in San Diego County when the fires start hitting north of our county line first, and then there's a very thin line of state resources or federal resources available to us should we have the catastrophic fire again, when we have it again.
We could be in deep trouble, couldn't we? I mean, even with this is modern, new equipment, but even with this, we could be in trouble.
Even with this, we could be in trouble, and that's why it's so important with our Before the Threat campaign to prepare citizens to help themselves, which helps us during these catastrophic fires. People can take care of themselves, defensible space, fire hardening their properties, having their evacuation plans, having their food and their important paperwork ready to go, and then evacuate early. That's going to help all of us out, everybody throughout the County of San Diego and emergency services.
I think people have heard so much that we've talked about how they've added new equipment and all, things like this. I know you have more now than you had in 2007. But you can't depend on the state to send down the kind of equipment that they used to be able to send. But people tend to get too relaxed, don't they? I mean, don't they develop a false sense of security?
We really do, and it's that sense of amnesia that we talked about earlier, where people are remember for about 6 months after a catastrophic event, then it starts to wean off. What we're trying to do through the Before the Threat campaign and other campaigns with the Burn Institute and with County OES and with Farmers Insurance is to try to remind people periodically throughout the year. Fire is but one of the threats. It's our biggest threat. But we also have to prepare for earthquakes. We have to prepare for depending on where you live, and general man-made and other natural events. And the Before the Threat campaign helps people focus on that.
But when's it going to happen? Is it going to happen this year?
Yeah, it very likely could happen this year. If it doesn't happen this year, it's going to happen the year after.
Could happen tomorrow?
Well, you know, the funny thing, Paul, is even on the smaller fires where you have 1, 2, 3, 400 acres, for the people that lose property and that have to evacuate in those smaller fires, it's still catastrophic to them. So that's where the importance of public readiness, public preparation comes in. You've got to be prepared at all times. It's like the Boy Scout oath.
Who actually, this particular fire engine is based where?
I believe it's in Deer Springs.
Deer Springs. And is that all right? Nick Schuler's over there now, somewhere close to it. How many firefighters, are there firefighters staffing this particular engine all the time?
Yes. Under the Schedule A contracts with CAL FIRE, they have about 3 people staffing the fire engines at all times. So that was one of the benefits of the San Diego County Fire Authority. It incorporated the volunteer side with the paid side from CAL FIRE to have a more dependable staffing level on these engines.
Wow. They're all over the place. It's beautiful equipment. We'll remind you then what we've learned so far today from the San Diego People is that they're going to be out with this before the threat campaign. There will be a CD available, a DVD available that you can look at. It'll remind you the things that you should do before a fire starts. You can depend on these folks. They're going to take care of you the best they can, but you have to learn to take care of yourself as well. Thanks for being with us here on San Diego People, and of course you can depend on us to cover those fires when they start. We'll see you all next week on the KUSI News.